Hi, I'm Joanna, and in this tutorial today I'm just going to create a very simple, quick prong setting for a pendant, and the stone that I'm going to use will be 5 millimeters. So I'm going to start on the top view, just doing a circle that is going to be 4 millimeters diameter. And then I'm going to pipe this circle using a diameter of 1 millimeter. Okay, so I'm going to type 1 on the command line, and press enter, and then enter again. And I created the first rail of the setting. I'm going to actually create another layer to put the setting. So I organize the model. I'm going to move everything into this layer. And then I'm going to create another layer. So I do it in a different color so you can see, for the bottom setting. Now the bottom setting is going to be slightly smaller, so I'm going to draw a circle now that is going to be 3 millimeters diameter, so I'm typing 3 on the command line, and I'm going to, on the front view, to move it down a little bit and pipe it. Okay, so I'm going to pipe. I'm typing on the command line, pipe, and I'm going to do again 1 millimeter, okay? Now, I'm going to move both with a gumball a little bit up. We could move this one a tiny bit low. So what we want is that the color of the stone doesn't poke out. So it has to stay in between these two rails. I'm going to create now the prong, so I'm going to create another layer and just draw on this layer. So I'm going to bring just the polylines, and I'm just going to create a single line from this midpoint here, and I want to overlap a little bit the stone, the prong. So I'm going to make it tiny little bit on the side, so when I pipe it, the prong actually is going to overlap a little bit of the stone. So again, I'm going to pipe, and I'm going to use the same thickness of a wire, so 1 millimeter, and this time actually I'm just going to go back, and when I'm piping, I want to use, rather than a flat cap for the pipe, I want to use a round one. So I'm going to start diameter 1 millimeter, and I'm going to make it so that it's round at the end. Now you can see that the stone goes a little bit on the inside, so we're making again a close setting for production. So I'm going now to go into another view, and I want to actually rotate this prong 45 degrees. So the center of rotation, so I clicked on the rotation, and the center of rotation is going to be 0. And I'm going to drag the mouse all the way to the right. It doesn't matter if it is a short drag or long, as long as it goes in in the middle of the prong. And then I click, and then the second reference point is 45 degrees. And then I'm just going to array the prong. So I'm going to bring the array menu, and I'm going to do polar array, and I'm going to select the prong, press enter. The center of polar array I'm going to do 0, and the number of items I'm going to do 4. Okay, so if I shade now, you can see that I've created a quick basket, quick setting for this 5 millimeters diameter stone. So now I'm just going to create a bail for the chain to go through. So I'm just going to bring my curves, and I want to make sure that I actually have the project on, because often when you're doing this on one view, the mouse is going to snap onto different things. But if I put the project on, I make sure that the curve is like flat on the zero. So I'm just going to draw it, and then, very roughly, and then we can edit, rebuild the curve, and just make it as you want. Of course, if you have a technical drawing, just import the technical drawing and trace exactly the drawing. Now, when you're doing this, of course, you have to measure your chain just to make sure that there is enough space for the chain to go through. And yeah, just with a gumball, edit as much as you want. You could rebuild if if you don't have a curve that is very straight. So I'm just going to keep the same count of points. And then another cool thing, you could record history before you pipe. So I'm recording history, and then I click on the curve, and then I pipe. I'm going to maybe make it slightly thinner, maybe 0.8 of a millimeter. And if you want to make changes to the bail, what you do, because we have recorded history, you can actually just select the curve, and the bail is going to adapt to it. So the pipe shape that you have done is going to follow the changes that you make to the curve. Okay, so this is a really cool thing about recording history. So this is a file for production. As you can see that the prongs are quite long. Again, I'm going to do a different file where I actually adjust the setting for render purposes, and I will put also a chain. So watch the next video for more tutorials.